Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, June 21st, 2024. Welcome to another eBay video. We have a lot of things to talk about tonight, including, but not limited to, Brazil, our neighbor to the south, cancellations in abundance, my record-setting return rate, a statement from eBay regarding negative feedback removal, unwarranted negative feedback removal, and we're going to talk more about the case of feedback extortion that I presented last Friday night. So that being said, let's start with the feedback extortion and an update and what's going on. You may remember I made a special video later on Friday night showing you a buyer who wrote to me and said something like, I am very disappointed in these items. I would like a full refund before I can leave positive feedback. Now, in any rational person's mind, you can understand what he's saying. He wants a full refund without returning the items, or I'm going to get negged. I read all your comments, and they broke down into three categories: 80%, 10%, and 10%. 80% of you guys agree with me and said it's a clear-cut case of feedback extortion. No ifs, ands, or buts. Make him return the item. Do not give him a refund unless he does. Okay? 10% who really shocked me said it is not feedback extortion because he didn't use the word negative feedback, he used the word positive feedback. Now, I'm not sure if the people that said this are paid eBay employees, which I doubt they are, so that can't be the case. I just think it's a case of them maybe being in the slow lane or quite possibly on the shoulder itself. Not quite with it. Then, what really surprised me was the other 10% that said, yes, it definitely is feedback extortion. When I get people like this, I automatically give them their money back and let them keep the item just to make them go away. I'm not going to throw out any names, but I was very, very shocked to see that. And I think you're doing not only yourself a disservice, but all the other eBay sellers a disservice, because that is what's breeding this mentality. If they can get away with it with you, they're going to try and get away with it with me and with the rest of you. And that ain't going to happen with Cute Joey. Cute Joey doesn't back down. So you want to know an update on this little incident. Friday night, I wrote back to him and said, listen, I offer 30-day returns. If you want to return the items for a refund, that is fine. I have no problem accepting a return. He then opened a return request. That didn't surprise me. It is now 1 week. A full week has gone by. He has not shipped the items back yet. I'm wondering if he tried to use them, or maybe even did use them, and cannot physically send them back. Maybe he was calling my bluff only to get called out. I don't know. But that's where we're at right now. I will keep you informed as time progresses or as it warrants. Next topic is called Brazil, our neighbor to the south. And you guys have no idea where I'm going with this topic. But I can tell you that the eBay International Delivery Program does not serve Brazil. All right? You can ship there on your own if you want. I don't recommend it at all. That's up to you. So here's what happened the other night. A customer sends me a best offer on an item. It was a little bit less than I really wanted, But eBay told me I was going to be paid right away, so hey, I took it. Time starts to tick by, I don't get any payment. It gets to be 2 freaking hours. I don't have any payment, so I know something's wrong. I go to the buyer's account. I think he has a feedback of 8. I want to see where he's from. He's from Brazil. Oh no! If his account is registered in Brazil, how is it possible he could be buying my items or yours? Now, I understand that he has a US address he ships to. I get that. But still, this is a loophole that needs to be closed. So, it got to be 24 hours and no payment. However, at 36 hours, he did pay, which really shocked me. Really shocked me, but I thought it was worth mentioning that people from Brazil can still circumvent any blocks you have and buy your items. Now I have something I want to talk about. I'll talk about returns next. On Wednesday, I had 3 returns in one day. 3 fresh returns. This is important to bring up because all 3 people, believe it or not, admitted culpability, meaning buyer remorse. One person selected just didn't like it. One selected change mind. And I think the other one selected bought by mistake. But they were all 3 reasons where the buyer is going to be paying the shipping back, which, hey, I get it. It's part of doing business online. But the point I want to bring up is I am setting new records for my return percentage. I am romancing 5% return rate in eBay Motors. I do realize most of my eBay Motors competitors are probably higher than that. But I'm willing to bet none of you guys are anywhere near that unless you sell on eBay Motors. Next, we're going to move on to cancellations. I really think eBay did something this week with the algorithm in a negative way to hurt us, to really show buyers our competitors' items cheaper than ours after they bought our items. I had a friend of mine, also sells on eBay Motors, same category, same items as me, hubs. 4 cancellations in 24 hours. And one of the guys was so insistent that after he requested to cancel, he then starts contacting the seller, my friend, saying things like, cancel this order, I don't want it. You know darn well that eBay showed this person the same item considerably cheaper. And this has been going on for years. I think it's freaking pitiful. But what I want to tell you now is a story about a cancellation that happened to me last Saturday night, and I think it's freaking funny. Freaking funny, and if this doesn't bring a smile to your face, nothing will. So, Saturday night, I get a ka-ching on my phone. Ka-ching! I look at the phone, and immediately I said, oh no! Because the item he purchased was a lot of two items for approximately $65. And I know I have seen other sellers selling lots of 4 for, let's say, $80, $90, which obviously is a better deal than what he just got from me. And knowing how eBay loves to show our competition's items cheaper after our buyers pay us, I know there's going to be a problem. And as I said, I went like this, oh no, And as soon as I completed that thought, bloop, cancellation requested. Now I expected this. As you know, my cancellation policy is I will agree to a cancellation as long as I haven't printed the label. I don't care if it's 5 minutes. I don't care if it's 5 hours. As long as I haven't done any work, I'll agree. There is one codicil. I feel buyers need to be held accountable for their actions. And when I will cancel the transaction, there's a waiting time of 24 to 48 hours, depending on the circumstances and all that, because hopefully it will dissuade them from playing dirty pool again. I mean, they won't play it with me because I block them. They're done. Cancel with Joey, you're done. All right? It's time to start acting like adults and take responsibility for your actions. But anyway, I said to myself, all right, no problem, I will cancel. But not right away. So a few hours later, I got it into my head to check this particular buyer's feedback. I really wanted to see if he bought the same item from another seller that leaves automatic positive feedback, which is freaking the worst thing you should ever, never, ever do. Don't ever leave automatic positive feedback. And this is an example, because if I was leaving it, he'd be getting a positive feedback even though I got a cancellation. Take that as an object lesson. Don't freaking do it. But anyway, I wanted to see if I found another seller who left him positive feedback for that same item, and I didn't. And I said, well, while I'm here, let me check the feedback he's left for his other sellers. Oh my God, you think this shirt is red? I'm going to show you some red right now. That being said, let's go to a cutaway. I want to show you how cute Joey just dodged a bullet. Okay guys, here is the feedback that this crazy loon left for his sellers. I want you to take a look at this. First of all, negative right here. The seller refuses to make the situation right. They ship to an incorrect address and they refuse to fix the issue. And it was replied by the seller where he said, the buyer provided a wrong address when making the purchase and asked us to fix it while the package has been shipped out. Still have not received the package returned to seller and issue refund. This negative feedback should never have been left, and it shouldn't be allowed to stay up because the buyer is responsible to have his correct shipping address at all times. But let's continue. Another negative feedback. This is more like a product review if you ask me. Very disappointed in this product. It's not sticky and it doesn't fit the screen completely. Here's a positive comment with a positive rating with a negative comment. This backup is very small, definitely not what it looks like in the picture. Okay? Negative, 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 negative. I think you get my point here. I really think I dodged a bullet. I was really happy to accept this cancellation. I'm sure you would have been too. So guys, I think you'll agree I had luck on my side Saturday night. I was so happy to cancel that sale. Okay? I dodged a bullet with that clown. Years ago, eBay stated publicly there would be checks and balances in place to be sure buyers did not abuse the feedback system and leave an inconsistent amount of negatives versus positives. I have proved to you over the last 5 years how that is nothing but total bollocks, all right? So many buyers are abusing the feedback system. It's sick, it's disgusting, and it's got to stop. That being said, I want to now move on to a statement that eBay put out the other day on its site regarding negative feedback removal. I'm going to read it, then I'm going to hold it up and show you. And this is a direct quote I'm reading. In an effort to make feedback more fair and transparent for both sellers and buyers, eBay recently made changes to feedback addressing some aspects of our removal policies that led to inconsistent outcomes. We are addressing these gaps and apologize for any confusion or frustration you may have experienced. We take your feedback seriously and commit to doing better while we still strive to improve the eBay platform for everyone. Andrea Stairs, eBay Vice President of Global Regulatory Trust and Monetization, provided the following update on feedback at our recent summer seller check-in. Now, can anybody translate in the King's English what I just read to you? To me, it means absolutely nothing. Zero. They said nothing. It's been a long time since I've seen a paragraph that said absolutely nothing. It's like a show about nothing. What'd you do today? You got up, you took a shower, you had an English muffin, you drove to work. That's a show. So yeah, I just thought I would mention that to you. Somebody I know has reached out to the powers that be at eBay to try and get a little more clarification on that paragraph about nothing, but I haven't heard anything yet. Sales this week were actually a little bit better than they have been previously. I'm not saying I'm booming or anything like that, but I did see a bit of an increase, and I'm happy to get it. I hope you guys did well too, and I hope your sales have increased. I want to read to you now the craziest positive feedback I received this week, and I'm reading it verbatim off my phone. Ford Explorer alloy wheel center cap arrived today and came in good condition. However, they were unable to fit my truck wheel. I'm going to return them back. Thank you for your service. Bye. You don't believe me? Check my feedback right now. Want me to put the video on pause while you do it? I'll be more than happy to. This kind of thing upsets me because I always put a picture of the alloy wheel in the listing so that the buyer can see what wheel the caps fit before purchasing. And you know they don't do it. And I got the feeling that this buyer happens to be an older dude. You know I have a sixth sense about this kind of stuff. So yeah. All right, guys. Rehash of everything we talked about tonight. People from out of the country, like from Brazil, our neighbor to the south, can circumvent your shipping exclusions as they did with me, so keep that in mind. Cancellations are on the rise in a very big way in eBay Motors. I don't think it's as bad in eBay Core, but in eBay Motors it's absolutely awful. Oh, and by the way, here's a story that happened to somebody, a few people, regarding auctions and cancellations. Listen very carefully. Follow along. A person had a collectible doll. I'm not sure what kind, but let's just say it was a Barbie doll, because that's one everybody would recognize. And let's say it was bringing pretty good money. All right? Just as the auction is going to end, somebody steps in and snipes and wins the doll. Immediately, the person wants to cancel. You know, place bid by mistake. The seller clicked on the buyer's feedback and sees that this person also sells the same type Barbie doll. So the prevailing theory is that this particular bidder, who's also a seller, wanted to get this other person's item off the shelf so that people would buy her item. This is something eBay needs to address in a very big way, and they're just not doing it. I've seen this story a few times recently on Facebook regarding auctions. So if you do list your stuff in auctions, be forewarned, it could happen to you. Please don't ever let anybody engage in feedback extortion. Always make them send the item back. All right? For your good and for the good of your fellow sellers. Have some self-respect. If you want to tell me what your return feedback, if you want to tell me what your return percentage is on eBay, I'd really like to know in the comment section. Mine's just under 5%. It's 4 point something, probably the highest it's ever been. I think it's going to go higher because keep in mind, the guy who left me the positive feedback for the Ford Explorer hasn't even opened to return yet. So you know my thing is going north. That being said, I'm Crazy New York Driver, you're not. Thank you for watching this video. Please comment any of the issues I brought up or any eBay issues you want. I hope you make a ton of sales this week on eBay. Rock on and peace.